Welcome. I am Karame Queen, and if you're joining us for the first time, this is the channel where we have fun with words and numbers, numerology to be precise. This is where we are occupied or preoccupied with actualizing self love. Perhaps say occupied. Let's be present. Well, we are in that oneness, that spirit of whatever, because we are bringing in the past as well, in the sense of what we've learned, how the scriptures have impacted our lives. And this is why we are examining Genesis of chapter 1, verse 1 again and again. And you wouldn't imagine that I have done numerous presentations, and in this short series, perhaps five presentations on a 10-word verse. So this is the magnitude of words, of course. This is the magnitude of impact or influence words has on us, or how we, the meanings we make of those words, and the teachings that we have had. And so when I was growing up, for many of us, I'm sure this holds true, that the teaching was there was a big, huge man in the sky called God who looked down on us as his children, and we were not to be naughty, or else he would punish us very severely. That story, of course, had graduated in that, okay, we know he's not really in the sky, but we are still looking for him. He might be under the bed, he might be somewhere. He's got angels looking over us to report back to him. Of course, we have to confess our sins. If we don't confess, he knows that we have shortchanged him in that, in what we relate to him, and so we would be punished. Of course, we felt guilty, and that held true, and so we would be punished, of course, and not realizing that we were allowing, or we have been channel of that instrument, in the instrument for the punishment. So we are our own punishment and our own punisher. Sometimes those things just come out and I wonder, but it does make sense, doesn't it? That's what it has been for me. And I think I'm not on my own. That's for most of us. Okay, so that's why, one of the reasons why, of course, that story has evolved. And to that extent where I know that hmm, that I've missed something. Perhaps I can't remember or know exactly or point my finger on what it is I have missed, but I have missed something. And it's like going into a room and you went in there for something and you can't remember, and you need to go back where you were at to see, look around. Where was I? It's like, why am I standing here? And you go back. That happens. Sometimes you go back and forth a couple times before you really get it. But okay. So that's what it has been like for me. It's I have been in a place, or at a place, where I know I've missed something. And then I've gone back. The back is in the past. Now, the back is where we carry all the load. I don't know, for, of course, it's in the heart, but there's a there's a spectrum. And the back is where we have carried the load, or the things we have put, like we say, put it on the back burner. The back burner, even if it were in front of us, it images our action, our activity, our intention. So that's what it had been for me. And I've had to examine. So if it is on the back burner, you need to be like uncovering the pots that you had put there. Oh, I forgot I had that in there. Well, I hope it's not like that. Or some people put the pots in the oven, okay? This is for tomorrow's lunch. And tomorrow comes, you eat something else, and you forgot you had something in the oven. And it has happened to me. And I'm sure I'm not on my own. And I thought, oh my, it's gone off. And then you smell it. Or you smell something and you think, oh, that food has gone off. That's what happens with us. And there, this is what I want to take: the past, the present, the future, meaning we are all of that. That is what wholeness is about, because those dimensions are what it is. I believe something clarity is coming to my mind now. Those dimensions are the dimensions of what God had created, and there was a firmament. When God put that firmament, there's division. And then a firmament above the waters that was above the firmament, and a firmament with those below, and those were divisions. It's as if where you turn to the left, there's a division, you turn to the right, and there's another division, and you get it's like you were asked to just keep still. And then you, of course, you were literally asked to keep still and know I am God, and you keep still. And in some cases, yes, it's very important to keep still. Of course, there, hence, there is an echo, or we would say an anchor on that. That's with the door. So that is really showing about not keeping still. There is movement. That's why we have doors. You open and you close, because there has to be movement. That's what God was about: movement. The first thing that was done was movement, and then He tells you, keep still, because I am God. Whereas we have that movement that we were created with. Movement. Through movement, we were created. And then God had lots of disciples. I don't know if they were His disciples, but I would say yes. He would say, keep still. When you're in the school, keep still. When you're at home, keep still. When you're doing whatever it is, keep still and know that I am God. So, in actual fact, we have created, or we have become confused with the numerous stages of development. And for me, it has been difficult to keep still, because I am really number 5. I am number 5 at heart. I am number 5. I am the 5th child of 14 children, meaning I come from 5. So when we add 1 plus 4 is 5. Just like in the name of Eve. So my dear mother, unknown to me, was also Eve at the time. I couldn't really work it out. I couldn't work it out, and she had the most beautiful name that really matches Eve as well, which, of course, although deceased, I choose not to disclose right now. So basically, because that's not of the importance there, but it's really like acknowledging, even in this realm where I come from, because no matter what number you are, no matter whether you felt you were 4 or 2 or what, you would see the path that really shows you. You come home, because Eve is home. In fact, I love it. In fact, the word home and the word house, here we have it, House and HOME. Now one has 5 letters and one has 4. One consists of 4 and the other 5. When you add this together, they come to 9. This is what we're about. 9 is crucial. 9 is beginning, but where there is beginning, there is ending, and the two are intertwined. So there we go. It's like here in the heart. Oh, I haven't got the heart word, but there I can understand that 9 in this case is representing the A step ladder in the heart. Step ladder, of course, because H is a ladder. All right, so 8, 6, 3, 1, 5. 8, 6, 4, 5. There we go. And I like the 8, 6 as well. I just like all the numbers, really. Okay, so 9 and 6, 15, and 8 would be 23. 2 plus 3 is 5. Okay, so we have 5 here. Of course, we see Eve here. Let's just get Eve out here because Eve doesn't mind really. So, okay, so 5 and 1, 6 and 3, 9. 9 and 6 is 15, and 8 would be 15, 23. 23. So there we have it. So Eve is, and of course, when we add Eve, of course, we have just seen Eve is 5. Christ is 5. We are 5. That's what a home is. A home is, of course, it consists of the 4 pillars. I love my drawing. Just watch this. This is funny. Okay, so this is, okay, this is home. Okay, this is home. Now, I'm sure I can do better than that. Let's do this. Okay, so this is home. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now I did this before. I'm really wanting to show my creativity here. Okay, all right. This is the door. This is home. Okay, right. So there we are. This is so we are talking about 5, and we are talking about Eve, and we are talking about heart. What's in the middle of the heart? We are talking about creativity. Well, not well, though it derives from creative, or creativity derives from created, or the word creation. Okay, and art. So I have been looking at as well. Just while I had this, I was looking at this, and I thought I said there's always a rat, and there is a crate, and then I saw in the middle of the crate there's a rat. There's another word, a very vital word that I hadn't included here is CAR, car. Now that's really interesting. So you can imagine this business, the driver, whoever's driving, there would be a name for driver from Create, but okay, we don't find it now, but we see the motion. It's like motion of eating. It's like you're driving something, isn't it? Okay. So basically, um, you can imagine you're in your car, you have a crate of food, but there's a rat in the middle of the crate of whatever it is that you're transporting. There's the rat. There's always a rat. Hence why, even in the movies, not even more so in the movies, in families, in institutions, no matter where you go, there is always someone behaving like a rat. There is always someone ready to backbite you. That's the thing. There's always someone ready to backstab you. Something, that person is behaving like a rat. You turn your head and whoops, it's gone, interfering in things that you thought was safe. Okay. And we also have it even when it's in treat, the word treat as well. So don't be surprised someone treats you. Oftentimes, that's how people are being betrayed. And isn't it the same story said for Christ? Christ was treating his disciples to this wonderful hospitality of giving them or serving the last or partaking of his blood, his flesh and treat. And we are told that, of course, Judas betrayed him. So there in the treat is RAT. Now, of course, there tread as well, tread on his hospitality. So the word goes on. It depends on what we are focusing on, that this is what we get. Sometimes we don't really focus on it, we don't think we do, and perhaps what we are really focusing on is the essence of the lesson that we are meant to be learning for us to grow. So there are times we get ourselves into those situations where one has bite us or backstab us or something like that. And we have the choice or the opportunity to grow instead of dwelling on the act, instead of the essence of the art. Okay, it's just how it flows. I mean, and it's just wonderful. Okay, so back to Earth. Like I said, we can see that in the heart, for instance, it is there is such a mixture of emotions or conditions that really consist or embodies the heart. It really is that which holds the heart together or which tears it apart, because we have the word tear in the heart. And that reminds me, we also have the word tear. I'm going to have to stick it on here. We also have the word tear in created. So if we have the word tear in created, that would mean that everything God did, it already had that condition. It already consisted, because by him dividing, he was tearing something apart. He was tearing ideas or perception or whatever it is. That word created, it, it lends the impression or the meaning of what God really stood for. He created, he put together, and he tear apart. It's like, and that's what happens when I have been a fashion designer. So I would put a drawing here, change something here, add another stuff here, and it would go on like this. And perhaps what I have also tore from one pattern, I would add it to another. That's creation. That's what you do when you create. Nothing goes to waste. Okay, so let's have the word cheer here. So we are working with six. We are back in love. When I say six, because today is a six vibration, and it's that love, it's that Venus energy that's feeding us, because we are talking about food. She's that unconditional giving mother and loving and so on, of course, Mary. So, we were about Tier, uh, of course, Tier, yes, Tear. I would imagine I had that there, but it's not. Okay, so Tier is here, of course, which is like saying the two airs, because the air is not in just the one. We have two airs or two drums. So we can see T has the value of two. So there it is. Like when we have T, I think it is, I'm getting the impression wherever we encounter T, and we say we nail it, is that there is a partnership, because there is a union. It's not complete until it is two. So we can have that mindset, whether it's our interaction with the vibration that adds something, but there is union and we nailed it. We've got it to a T. Okay, even the word two is literally two. So we have tear and car. So these are things we can really. So we see tear and car going back to the heart. We see that's what happens. Of course, when we feel torn in the heart, when there is the tearing in the heart, we feel hurt. The hurt is really a heat. It is, and of course, it is temperature. We are dealing with temperature there. And this is really funny. This, it's, it's how the information comes. I'm just going to deliver it. And I'm just going to deliver it. This is what I have just seen. Of course, I talked about hurt, and usually the hurt is a derivative of the he. Um, should we say the He who created us in this sense? Because, of course, He said, if you don't do this, I'm going to punish you. So the hurt often came through, this is just so funny. Okay. It, it often came through Him. He, He. So this is why he said, hey, he's always talking about hear me when I speak to you, listen. Okay, so we see his hair as well. He's in the air. He's always telling us something. He is in the heat of the moment. So hence why as well it perhaps is said men are usually and not meaning to be sexist here as well. It's I'm sure these are intelligent people listening to this, so I'm not going to make apologies here. It's just a point which I'm sure you can read through. It's that men are usually more temperamental, or they get hot tempered quicker than women. There's something whether this is still it still holds true, of course, but I'm sure the word still we can get her in here as well, just to balance it out. So here there is her. So he and her is always so that's the thing. Now we can see with the two airs on either sides, it's also showing it's very symbolic of the division. Oh, we've gone past 21 minutes, so I'm going to continue with this one. So we see that um whatever's here between the two airs, the face between him and her. So there was the face, the five senses, the five circles, the five which we have here. Of course, we say thank God for the bridge. God is the bridge. Number eight, the eight that we eat. That's also the bridge. Okay, that gels the two airs, the him and her. Again, as an act of influence, you could say perhaps most people say, okay, on a first date, let's go out to eat. Food is really very symbolical and very potent stimuli or stimuli for or stimulus. Okay, and for getting people together, it is really a strong influence here. Okay, so I may have to go over this again because I would like to examine these other words like we've done tear in the heart. All this is in the heat and it's in the earth. We see that the earth, when she is very hot, she cracks up. We see that. Back in the Caribbean, we see that when the soil is it's very hot, the soil it breaks, it cracks, and you could see like a heart. Okay, eat. Of course, we've talked about that. Of course, tar. This is when one, or we could say one is behaving. This is the rat actually. So the rat, either way, I'm not sure there's a middle point with a rat. The rat, the mirror image to the rat is that it's tar. It is tar, Tar, and tar is some hot, sticky, gluey. It holds together. It is firm. Perhaps you need the tar to mend the broken heart and because it really is a form of bonding. Tar is a form of bonding, but it's associated with black, and it's also associated with hardness, concrete. Okay, so I know tar. It's that bond. So we can see the significance of tar in the heart. Sometimes you do need that. Sometimes you do need that. Okay, so I've got the word rare, although there are two R's in here as well. But of course, as everything has two sides, so we are exploring and examining observing the rare side of any the heart and the earth, we could say. Okay, people are very occupied with understanding the earth and its structure. Is it round? Is it flat? You listen to both arguments and they both holds. They make sense if you like. Perhaps I've just got this thing. I'm going to have to do a presentation on heart, my take on whether the earth is flat or whether it is round. I'm going to do a presentation on that, and that is just my intuition about that. I am no scientist or genealogist or whatever, or is. But I am that I am. Okay, so there is another word talking about that I am. The word that also, THAT, is also part of earth or um, or the heart. Yes, the word that. So, or the is 6, and that is 13, 1, 3. And so we see in the middle of, let's see, the middle of Earth is Art, which holds the 12 vibration, ART, so that's 10 and 2 is 12. So it holds the 3 vibration in the heart. So in the middle of the heart, you can imagine that M spinning in the middle of Earth. So it's middle of the heart, yes. In the middle of the heart is that vibration. I love it. In the middle of the heart is the number 3. And I'm going to express or illustrate that free vibration again, which is that 12, that equals the 12 in the middle of the heart, in the middle of the heart, HEART. So now in the middle of the heart is 6, which is 15, and in the middle of earth is art. So let's look at the middle of earth now, which is saying we can understand the windmills. We need that. It's really the middle of symbols of the middle of the heart. It is that fan. It is that invisible vibration. It is art, and also it is tar. TAR. So the tar and the art is in the middle of earth. Okay, so we're on 28 minutes. I'm going to do another presentation on this because I still feel there is so much more to explore on this. Okay, so do like and subscribe. I hope you have enjoyed this. I hope you have found this fun. If you like this presentation, click the like button and share, because this is how we do it. We share to actualizing self love. Stay blessed, stay bright, be a field because we are planting new seeds, and spill over with love. Namaste.